Candice Owens humbles a group of young women on why men stop getting married. Let's get to it.
I'm absolutely fascinated by the way the hoe mind works, the way the hoe hive works. I'm fascinated. I cover it on my show. You are correct. It is trending. When Emma gets up and does a video and says something like, it's chic to be divorced before you're 30. It is absolutely fascinating to see how someone's mind can be so warped. In the same way that I think it's fascinating when anybody does anything crazy or says anything crazy, and I cover it on my podcast. I am not knocking it at all. I just tell people what the facts are. You can choose this lifestyle, and here is where you are 99.9% likely to lead in your life, right? You are probably not destined for marriage. You're probably not destined for a stable relationship. Men are going to not want this long term. You can say it 1,000 times. You can have 1,000 cultural examples, and women's still got to go out there and be hoes, because they're about their money and about a Cardi B song or whatever it is. So yes, I think it is fascinating.
Yeah, I find it fascinating too, because what she's talking to average thoughts that are lost. All right. When a woman is lost in the world and doesn't know what she want to be, she only reflects off of attention. That's what you're going to notice. The dumbest girls in the world are always doing things for attention because that's where they get their rush. But when you get to smarter women want to be known for their brain. When you have a woman like the ones that you're seeing in front of Candice Owens, and the same type of girls you'll see in front of Fresh and Fit, is that these are the type of women that when they walk around, they have so many guys that are giving them attention, showing them attention, that women start to believe that they're powerful. Why? Because they're going places, guys are opening up the door. Guys are saying, can I buy this for you? I want to take you out to eat. I want to drink your bath water. I want to treat you so nice in the world. The thing is, these girls are suffering from so much insecurity that the more these guys do this, the more power that they think that they have. So you'll notice as women start to age, the value of the man that they end up with typically becomes lower than the guys that they dissed in their earlier years. Because once they go on that pedestal, they can never come off that pedestal because that's where their power is at. And overall, these type of liberated women will ultimately end up simps. They're going to end up with simps. A lot of guys think, they're going to end up cat ladies. No, the delusional how to make up on liberated woman is going to always find some dude who ain't had sex that's going to wife her up. The girls who turn into cat ladies, those are the ones that typically grow up and they're not used to being in a relationship. They're used to just being alone, and they get cats in order for companionship that come and go. They get more cats and the cats become their kids. So understand, a lot of these girls that are out here now, they're not going to turn directly into cat ladies unless they deliberately say, I don't want to be in a relationship with a man. It's the same thing when a man, when he says, I don't want to be in a relationship with a woman because of what's going on. You're going to notice those type of dudes are going to end up sad, lonely, and miserable and become very violent and hate. The lonelier a man is, the more. There's nobody in the world on the planet that's happy just sitting alone. You have to realize social media is new to human life. It's new. Humans are social creatures. They're supposed to be outside. And when you see Candice Owens with these type of women, you must understand that this is not a representation of all women. It's a representation of the girls that are being bred for the streets. That's simple. Let's see if we can find another.
The Bible.
If a husband, okay, but
words have meaning.
Not everyone is religious.
Well, wait, hold on. Is that a cross necklace?
Since
we're talking about religion really quick. Okay, you have a cross necklace, but then your shirt says "Made in Hell."
Yes, it does.
I'm a little confused. Can you?
Why are you wearing a cross on your neck?
Color coordinating with your neck?
Because I don't see a cross as religious. So
okay, just like you don't see a marriage as religious.
I don't think that a marriage
has a meaning. This is why it's like we're at a stage. People are like, "What is a woman?" Because they just go, "Well, we're going to call it a marriage, but we're going to sleep with other people. We're going to bring in prostitutes. We're going to outsource raising the kids, or we're never going to have kids." You're calling it a family. It's not a family, and this is what it is. The words have no meaning, right? I'm wearing the cross. Why? I don't know. I don't think of it as religious. Okay, well, Jesus Christ died on the cross.
You think that.
That's what you think.
Wait.
That's
It's
what
been
you
proven.
think.
So why are you wearing the
And
cross?
sex
Because I think it's
worker
cute.
is
You
a
just
I think
more
that the design is cute.
Yeah.
Better
Wait,
term.
really
I
quick.
grew up
Rather
Catholic.
than
I was religious, and I'm not
prostitution
anymore. I don't have to believe in what you believe, and I can say that if
I didn't
somebody's-
say you had to believe. I asked you a question.
But
I
you're
said, why are
telling
you
me-
wearing the cross?
Okay, and you're saying that the religious aspect of marriage is the only thing that matters. It's not, because people don't follow what you believe.
Okay, I asked you why you're wearing the cross, and you said because you thought it was cute.
Yeah,
I'm
and
glad
I
we
did.
got an answer. She's wearing the cross around her neck because
Having
you wear like a
respect and
yarmulke because
tolerance.
it's
So
like
I'm
cute.
just like wondering if you
I'm
think
asking
it's
if you wear a yarmulke. That's
I
cute.
think those are very
Oh,
different
are you talking
things.
like
Why is the
blasphemy?
Yeah,
cross
I'm saying
different from the
I'm-
yarmulke?
I'm just
I mean, I was
asking-
raised Catholic, and that's just
Would
not
you
something
wear
that
a
I believe
yarmulke
anymore.
if you thought it was cute?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, a yarmulke is completely different than
No,
a cross
it's
that's been
not.
adapted into
They're
a necklace. You can
symbols
buy a
of,
cross
like, a
necklace anywhere.
There is
Show goes on, but Candice is leaving, guys. Give me just a sec to say goodbye. Yo, guys, W's in the chat for Candice. W's in the chat for Candice. Lose the cross, witch. Do you have anything to say to him? He just insulted you.
It's a sword.
Okay, you were just...
Well, Candice has a point in that clip where she's saying that, why are you wearing religious things if you don't believe in it? And that's one of the biggest problems that's happening with modern women, is because they don't have no structure. The Bible gives you structure. So people would praise the Bible because of what it is, but they're still doing devilish things. They're not following the rules. What you're seeing here is, you're seeing an older, mature woman, which is going to be Candice Owens, debating young, dumb girls. All right. Most kids, and I call them kids between the ages of 15 and 30, you're going to go through these identity changes. Like 1 year, you're going to want to be a man. The next year, you're going to want to be something else. Same thing with a woman. They're going to act grown. Then they're going to want to feel young again. And the older you get, the more you start reflecting back on what it was like when you were younger. That's what you're seeing with Candice Owens, is that a lot of these younger girls that are doing all the yapping and the talking, it's because society allows them to be liberated to do that, to have that freedom to talk. The only way that most of these women and men are going to learn is when you make the mistakes. That's why the mistakes that you make can be crucial. They can stagnize the rest of your life, or mistakes can make or break and bring the best version of yourself out. But you have to understand, making too many mistakes will alternate your future. So learn to be on top of your game. Let's get to the next video.
I want to know, what are you going to do? That's your husband. He's like, hey, babe.
I think one of the things about marriage that's really beautiful is I know what my husband, before we got married, I think I know who he is.
But things change, and maybe he wants to start exploring.
He wants to start doing what?
So
He wants
he
to
wants to
ram.
start exploring, and he's like, oh my gosh, maybe I do want you to like eat my. I kind of want from you, because you're my wife and you're so beautiful and hot, and we're married and we have kids together, and I'm feeling a little bit kinky, and I with you, since we have this special marriage and bond.
Hold up, man. You mean to tell me she's seriously asking Candice Owens, what would you do if your husband asks you if you can eat his ass? Like, that's what she literally just asked Candice Owens. Let's get back to it.
Feel if we could just try this out just this one time, babe, please.
I think it would probably indicate to me that my husband was involved in some perverse world, whether it was through pornography, that something else was happening on the side, because these aren't normal things that people just think of when they wake up.
So
like,
what's your
hey,
next
I'd
move?
really like a strap-on dildo.
Okay, right.
Well,
So what's your next
also,
move?
What's the ultimatum? He's
Wait,
going
hold
to
on.
divorce me if I
Wait,
don't
so
peg
what's-
him?
so what's the next move?
Crazy. I would think that individual would probably need therapy, and not the kind that you give.
Okay, and but you're gonna stay with
You don't
this person?
you don't immediately divorce.
Okay,
Marriage is
You're gonna
about
say-
working through issues and working through problems.
Okay,
You don't immediately
right.
divorce them, and this gets back to what she was saying about if your
Because-
husband, if suddenly a woman doesn't want to have sex, which would be another huge issue in a relationship. I would hope that my husband wouldn't instantly divorce me, but I would hope that they
Well,
would
some
take
guys
the
are terrified of that, and some guys don't even feel like they can open up to their wives about that. Sounds
Sounds like they need therapy.
They
then.
need
If they
therapy.
can't open up,
Yeah.
that's why.
yeah, I
You got to
know.
work on your marriage.
But the thing is that they'll come to us, talking to us about that.
What these girls are doing, hold on, let's pause this up. What these girls are doing, they consider themselves sex therapists, right? So they think that, hey, guys are coming to us that are in relationships and we're making them feel good about themselves, and it causes them to be, for their marriage to last longer. So Candice Owens is telling them, like, that's a sucker. He shouldn't be going to you. He should be going to go get counseling. And then she says, well, what if your husband wanted his ass ate? What would you do? And what happens if you refuse him? In other words, she's saying husbands are coming to her to get their fetishes to make their marriage last, which which solidifies her job. But what Candice is saying is like, this isn't normal thinking. What you girls are doing isn't normal. Just because you're running out being sluts and whores and you're surrounding yourself with people that allow you to be sluts and whores doesn't mean that the rest of the world is okay with it. And she's absolutely right. People have become so addicted to porn, they become addicted to just being liberated. They think they could just walk around in real life like, yeah, I want to eat your ass. If you tell a girl that you want to eat her ass, chances are she's going to dish you, bro. You're not going to get a woman telling her that. You're not going to get a woman telling her, I want to eat you out for a half hour. I can almost guarantee you the dude that's licking booty and licking his woman off for a half hour is going to be the main dude that gets played. It's that simple. Ain't no real man trying to put his tongue near some woman's booty hole. That simple. So for this girl to sit here and act like this is something normal, it's not normal. Most of the girls that's gonna do that, they fucked up. They going off on some shit. You don't gonna see regular thinking people do this. You're gonna always see the one that is stressed out the most and going through identity issues, or they've been through some shit when they was a child. When you reach a level of happiness, you don't look to degrade your. When you get in a marriage, you're not looking for your wife to be your next porn star. That's what side chicks are for. When a man loves his woman, he does not want his woman doing degrading things. A husband doesn't want to stick his thing in his wife's booty. A husband doesn't want to do that. He'll do it to a slut, but he doesn't want to do it to his wife. That's what women have to understand, is that men, we need two women. We need the woman that we could love, and we need the freak. We don't need one woman that can do all of that, because we're going to lose the respect for her. And that's what women have to understand. If your husband don't want you to do that stuff, then he has a lot of respect for you. If your husband wants you to eat his booty and suck his balls and do a whole bunch of stuff that he's seen in some type of porn flick, okay, once it's done, he's going to be looking for another woman. Once you get done licking booty and balls, he may say, oh, let's bring another girl into the bedroom. Now you're taking away from the true chemistry of the relationship. That's what she's pretty much trying to teach the girls. Let's get back to it.
And I think that, the fact that sex workers exist as this, what you believe to be a solution, when in fact that's a detriment, because you're getting in the way of the wife and the husband being able to communicate. And so I would much rather my husband go, if there was an issue and your wife's not having sex, I'd rather him go talk to a priest. I'd rather him go talk to another male. When males sit down and talk about, hey man, you should talk to her about this. I'd rather him, let me finish my statement. I'd rather him, what do you mean? Bros talking to each other about things, that's a normal. I'd rather, if I have an issue in my, it's pretty normal. I'd rather go talk to my sisters about things that are going on in my marriage. There's a lot of steps you can take before you talk to a prostitute about your marriage. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I live in such a crazy.
And she's right. She's right. These goofballs on here, these girls right here, let me pause this. These girls that are on here are not getting it. You're surrounding yourself with lame. You got creepy men coming to you to cheat on a wife. That's lame shit. Guys that are out here owning businesses, running companies. Do ask me, and why do mobsters get more credit than street niggas? And I told them it's simple. Because even though mobsters were illegal, they always portrayed the image of looking legal and looking legit. Mobsters had families. They lived in houses. They drove nice cars. They wore suits every day. What does that mean? When they walk down the street, they look like they owned a business. But another thing about the mob, if you were in the mob and you married a slut, you were not allowed to move up in rank. If the bosses seen that the girl that you're dating was a slut bucket, she was for the streets, you were not allowed to be a made man whatsoever. You can work for them, but you were never allowed to be a made man if you married a slut. That's the difference. Gangsters, you're marrying sluts all day. Y'all marrying Shaniquas with 4 or 5 kids. Y'all trying to date the bottom of the fucking barrel. The mob never did that. The mob kept a whore at a whore spot. They kept whores down at the strip clubs. They didn't bring them home trying to wife them up. They didn't do that. That's what these modern day women don't get. You're getting men that just want sex. All men want sex, but it doesn't give you the one up on other women. That's where you're losing at. All you're doing is fulfilling a fetish that another woman didn't want to do. But women look at sex as power. That's why I tell a lot of you dudes, men will fall in love. sleeping with a woman that sucks his balls, suck his dick, and doing that. A weak man gonna fall for that, right? Because that's what she gonna lead with. Then after she give you one little good sex, you'll never get it again. She'll just breadcrumb you money out of you. That's how women are. Give them good sex one time, and then after that, don't give them no more. Make them work for it. That's what the average girl is going to do, right? That's pretty much what prostitutes are doing. When you are in a marriage or you are in a relationship with a woman, she's thinking best for the relationship, not best for herself or what other people are going to do. She's thinking best of the relationship. In other words, if the wife says, I want a $20,000 wedding and not the $3,000 wedding, okay, she's living for other people and herself. At some point, that relationship is going to crash. But the wife that says, hey, maybe we should just do the cheaper wedding because I don't know all those people anyway. I'm not getting ready to just invite people to come to the wedding. That's the one you want to be with because she's thinking betterment of the relationship. When men and women have to outsource advice for bettership of the relationship, that's when it fails. Let's get back to it.
A prostitute about my marriage.
I know, but you're not a male, so I'm just saying, like,
men can talk to other. What are you talking about? There's all of these podcasts of men talking to men and being inspirational and talking about porn addiction and talking about the things that are corrupting men's minds. That's out there.
Okay,
and those are. I would much rather my husband listen to those men,
right,
and look for guidance, whether it's in the church, whether it's on a podcast, whether it's a spiritual leader, than to turn to a prostitute in a brothel.
I hear you.
So there's a lot of steps that you can take from we're having an issue in our marriage to my husband's at a brothel laying next to a prostitute talking about issues.
I think actually.
And she's absolutely right with that. She is absolutely right. Once you're able to communicate, life is totally different. A man shouldn't always have to go to a slut and talk about his problems. The problem with these women is they get a lot of guys that just want to sit up under them and just run their mouth and pillow talk. They getting the guys that think that the prostitute that they with, that they can change her and he could possibly leave his wife and go be with the prostitute because she sucked them off. They're used to that type of dude. They're not used to real men that have actually been in their life. Let's get back to it.